Welcome back to the channel where we discuss everything low-code, no-code, AI, and automation. Today, we're going to talk about payroll and how managing payroll and tracking employees' time can be an absolute nightmare. You're stuck with manual spreadsheets, constant errors, and wasted hours trying to make sure everyone's time is logged correctly. For growing teams, it only gets worse. Approving time cards, tracking overtime, and making sure payroll is accurate, especially when your tools are scattered, can turn into real chaos. But what if you could automate all of it with one single no-code tool? Today, I'm going to introduce you to Knack Payroll and Timecard Manager, which is a powerful no-code solution designed to handle time tracking, approvals, and payroll calculations, plus so much more. Today, I'll walk you through how this tool works, how it can simplify your payroll processes, and how you can integrate with other third-party tools to customize and fit your business. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Drop any comments below and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any other videos like this one. Okay, let's jump in and show you how this all works. Okay, let's go ahead and jump in. Now, we've taken a look at Knack before, and specifically, we looked at the product as a whole and the major components such as the database, the forms, the flows, the portals, and the no-code builder. But today, we're going to drill into a specific use case, which is managing employee time through the Knack app builder. And this is a powerful use case because if you've managed time for your employees before, you know it can be a big headache. It can be a spreadsheet nightmare. It's hard to keep things in sync. And we're going to show you how we can use one of Knack's pre-built templates to simplify this and build our own custom solution. But if you haven't checked out Knack, I'd highly recommend it because you can do all kinds of things like build custom CRMs, portals, online databases, manage your inventory, connect with third-party apps without any of the bottlenecks. They have a no-code web app builder so you can build your interfaces and so much more. And I really like workflows. We're going to use workflows today a little bit with our timesheet app and our time management app. But I would highly recommend, again, that you check out Knack if you haven't used it, if you're using other no-code platforms and stringing things together. What I really like about Knack is it simplifies it, it's all in one, and you can do everything in-house under one hood. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to my account. I'm logged in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new app, and I'm going to start from a template. Again, they have a ton of different templates across several different verticals, from education to government, manufacturing, retail, healthcare, construction, you name it. You can use one of their templates. You can also generate your app with AI, which is super cool. And you can also import your data from somewhere else and bring it into Knack if you would like. But we're going to go ahead and start from a template, and we're just going to search for the word time. And we see this template here, employee timesheets. Before we create the app, I'm just going to click more info so we can take a look at what's included with this app. But we have users and user access, which is super cool. We could show records connected to the logged in user, how to email your users, reporting dashboards, calculations and logic, and so much more, all included in this template. So this is a really good starting point for tracking employees' time. Okay, so let's come back here. We like this template. We're going to go ahead and select it and just hit create app. This will just take a minute or so. It's going to spin up all the database tables that we need for our app, the different views, the permissions. It's going to take and do a lot of the initial legwork for us so that we can just get on to building and using our app for our use case. So it's already done. Your employee timesheets app is ready. We can go ahead and hit preview my app. So we immediately get thrown into this user front end preview where we have two different roles. We have a supervisor role and employee role. We can see that out of the box, this is accessible and usable on all different screen sizes, which is super nice. So we've got our desktop view, our tablet view, and guess what? Our employees can log their time on mobile, which is super nice and definitely critical in today's age. So we'll go ahead and hit our stop quick view, and we're brought right into the app. If you've used Knack before, this is going to look familiar, but we have some different views here. We have our table view, which has all of our employees' hours logged. And then we have our users, and we have two user roles here. We have supervisors and we have employees. We can look at all the users, or we can navigate between just our supervisors and our employees. We also have our pages, which is our no-code front-end builder. So we have our user role page where we can log in. We have our supervisor dashboard, our employee dashboard, and we'll take a look at these in a little bit more detail, as well as our account settings for our user pages. We also have themes, which we're not going to change here, flows, which we'll look at in a little bit, and payments if we wanted to integrate payments, as well as our general settings. So let's take a look at this app and see how everything is configured from a user standpoint. So what we're going to do in the upper right is we're going to go to our live app. let's check this out. And we're going to be brought to this login screen. Let's go ahead and log us in as an employee first. What's really nice about the templates is they've actually configured users for us, so we can test this app and see its functionality without really doing anything else. So let's go ahead and log in. And here I go. I've logged in as this employee here. And what I can do is I can actually go ahead and log my time. So we'll say today's date. We're going to log our time from, let's just say 10 a.m. to, let's just do 2 p.m. And we'll just change this to p.m. And we will say worked on client resource project. Okay, and we can go ahead and hit submit. And the built-in logic of this app is the form is submitted. We can go ahead and reload our form so we can submit more time. But what's really nice, it has this built-in button here where we can actually view all of our previous hours. Now we're seeing we're logged in as Patrick Oliver. Here's my email. Here's the total hours logged, my average hours worked, and then we can see all of the previous hours that I logged as this user. I can even go ahead and edit my previous hours if I want to, and I can put in note updated hours. Okay, and I can resubmit this. And now I can go back, I can reload the form, I can go back to list hours, and I can see my updated note with my updated hours, and it's auto calculating the exact amount of time that I worked. 10:54 to 3 p.m. is 4.10 hours. Super, super cool. Okay, let's go ahead and log out here. And what we can do is we can go back to our table and we can actually see this updated log, which includes the hours that we just logged. As a quick reminder, if you haven't used Knack, these table fields are controlled here by this fields tab. So we basically have 4 fields. We have the date, we have the time field, which is a timer data type, which automatically calculates the time for us. So Knack is handling these calculations for us. We don't have to go into a spreadsheet and write a formula. It's all handled for us automatically. We can choose the format, we can choose the minutes format, the hour format, the total format. We can determine if it's required or add a field description, all that kind of stuff. So it makes it super easy to build out these kinds of apps. If we go back to our pages here, we can take a look at what we just saw, which is our employee dashboard. We can see this form. We can make changes to this form. We can change the submit actions, the general settings, the field and display rules, and everything that we would expect with a no-code web app builder, which is super cool. Same thing for the list hours. We could take a look at this view and what it looks like, as well as the edit hours view. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to our live app here. And what we want to do is we want to actually go to user roles. And we want to log in as a supervisor here to show you what this looks like from the supervisor point of view. Okay, so let's go ahead and log in. And we're logging in as a supervisor now. Now from the screen, we can see our employees. And if we want to add an employee, it's super easy. We can actually just hit this button so a logged in manager can add a new employee right from this portal. We can type in the name, we can put in the email, and we can put in a password. And let's go ahead and hit submit. And when we reload the form, we go back to our dashboard, we are now seeing the new employee that we just added. We can view the employee's details. We can see their hours if they had logged any hours. We can actually log hours from this screen. As a manager, if we were to hit this button, and it relates this form to the current user for the employee that we had selected. As we can see, we can't select it because it knows which employee that we are interacting with. We can come back to our dashboard. We can view weekly reports. So we have this nice report view built of different hours per week, which is super nice. And we can export it down to our computer. We'll also show you how to sync this to a third-party app like Google Sheets. So out of the box here, we have this really nice app built. And if we go back to our table view, we're seeing that our 2 new employees have been added here in the employees table. So from the front end UI, we're able to interact with the back end tables completely with a no-code UI builder. Now, the next thing I want to show you is the power of flows and how you can use flows to do a number of different things. So let's just give some examples. When somebody completes a timesheet, it could send the manager a Slack notification. They could get that notification so they know that their employee entered hours. They could also get an email notification. But what we're going to do today is we're going to set up a flow that actually sends all the time log records to a Google Sheet, and we'll show you how to sync all that data using flows in Knack. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to navigate to the Flows tab here in the left panel. And we can hit this button that says Create Flow from Scratch. So when building a flow, you have a couple different things. You have a trigger and an action. If you've used an automation tool before, this is going to sound or look quite familiar. But you basically always start with a trigger. So let's go ahead and choose our trigger, and they integrate with a ton of different apps. So the trigger doesn't necessarily have to be in Knack, but in this case, we're going to go ahead and choose Knack as our trigger. And what event do we want to trigger this flow? And we want a record to be created to trigger this flow. So when an employee enters a new hour, it's going to create this flow, which will start this trigger. So we're going to hit record created. We have to choose our Knack app, and then we have to choose our table. So we have our hours, our accounts, our supervisors, and employees. You could build a flow when a new employee is added. For instance, it can notify HR or HR notify the manager, however you want to do it. You can build all kinds of cool things with flows, but we're going to go ahead and choose hours here. Okay, let's go ahead and hit continue. I just want to point out, I'm not going to show you here, but you can build conditional logic into your flows or your automations. We're going to skip that step. We're just going to go right to action, but just know that you can build in conditional logic to filter out records depending on what your logic states. Okay, so next up for actions, what we're going to do is we're going to actually choose Google Sheets, because as I said, we want all these hour records to go into Google Sheets. So a member of our team who is working in Google Sheets can actually access this data, which is a very common use case. So let's go ahead and click Google Sheets. And what do we want to actually have happen? So you can do a number of different things. You can clear the sheet, delete row, find rows. We actually just want to create or update a row. And I've connected my Google Sheets. If you haven't connected your Google Sheets or your Google Workspace account, it's a one-click connect. And I actually, navigating over to my Google Sheets here, set up this sheet called time. And I created some basic headers here that match the tables in our hours table. So I have employee name, date, time in, time out. There's a typo there, but that's okay. And then comment. So that basically just matches our data in our hours table. I'm not going to navigate there because I'm in this form now, but that matches our table. So what I can do is I can actually just search for this sheet that I created called time, and then I can choose my sheet. I'm just going to choose sheet 1 because I only have one sheet. If I had multiple sheets here, I'd be able to see those sheets, and I can map data to a specific sheet in Google Sheets, which again is really, really nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit continue, and we just get a little tooltip there. But now what I need to do is just need to map these fields. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So the employee name, we want to choose employee identifier. For the column date, we want to choose date. Column time in. So you can see this is super simple. We're just going to do time from, and the time out with my typo is time to. And then finally, we just want to map any comments that the user submits or the employee submits to the comments field here. We can just go ahead and click save, duplicate search setting. Okay, go ahead and hit save, and then we can go ahead and start our flow. We get this nice notification here. Your flow is on. We check the results. There's no results yet because nothing has been submitted. Let's go back to our live app and test this out now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and log in as an employee. Although this would work whether an employee or a supervisor was submitting because we didn't put any rules on that. Let's go ahead and just do a random entry for today from 11:29 to 12:29. So 1 hour in the comments, we'll say this is a test. Okay, we'll go ahead and submit this. And let's go back to our Excel spreadsheet, and instantaneously, this is here. We got our employee name. We have the date of the logged hours. We have the time in, the time out, and the comments. This is a test. Now, this is super powerful because it allows a party who may not have access to our Knack app potentially, or somebody in accounting who's just working in spreadsheets to access this data in real time as it comes in through the app, and it's synced without using any third-party tools. If you're using other apps, you might have to use something like Zapier, make all the connections. You're using resources for another tool now. This is all done natively within Knack, which is super, super cool. And you're not just limited to Google Sheets. There's a ton of different connectors within the Knack platform or ecosystem. You can send your data to lots and lots and lots of different third-party apps, but this is working really, really well. If we come back here, we can actually take a look at the flow log, and we can see that this record is in here now, and we can see the details of what happened. It sent the data, it updated the row in sheet 1, cells A2 to AJ3, and everything was a success. If there were any errors, you'd see those here. Okay, so now going back to our dashboard, I want to show you a couple other things. So from the supervisor dashboard, we have these different pages, right? So we have the view employees detail page, we can edit the hours, we can edit the employee, we can add a new hour to an employee. There's also this hours report, which is super powerful. So within no-code UI builder, you can build all kinds of reports, pivot tables, filter your data, and so on and so forth. So if I click into this report, we can see that this is a bar chart, and we're displaying bar display by column. We're showing our data labels. You could choose the different sort of like contrast if you'd like, the legend placement, and you can choose how your data is displayed. So we have our labels, we have our category date, oldest and newest, group by all dates, total record count. So you can really drill down into any data that you would like, and you could build custom reports for the week, for the month, for the year. You can look at, just a single employee, all of your employees, average hours. You can build formulas within Knack, and to add a new report, it's super easy. All you need to do is hit a new page. We can call this page custom report. You can protect the page with a login if you'd like. I'm just going to go ahead and hit add page. I'm going to go ahead and discard changes from that page that we were on. Here's our custom report. And then now that you're in the custom report, you can add elements like a pie chart, a line chart, text, calendar, list view, form view, all these different types of things. So we could just choose line chart, for instance, and then we can choose the table that's going to be used to populate the chart data. So we could, take a look at our employees. We can hit add. We can see our different employees, and then we can start to connect data to it and choose which data we want to display as well as filter it. So really cool and easy to build powerful custom reports for all of your data, manage your employees' time. And again, you're not limited to just syncing your data to something like Google Sheets. You could use a ton of different apps that are built right in within Knack. So in just a matter of a few minutes, we were able to spin up an employee time tracking app that both has a supervisor view and an employee view. We can edit the time records. We can calculate the time automatically right within the Knack ecosystem. We've connected to a third-party tool, which is Google Sheets. And this is really just scratching the surface of what you're able to do with the time tracking template within Knack. And as you can see, you're not limited to just the basic features of the template. You can build your own views, your own tables, your own reports, your own integrations, your own notifications. You can add table fields if you would like. So let's just go ahead and leave here and say we wanted to add a field to our records. We can just simply add a custom field. It could be anything that we want. It could be linked records, rich text, signatures, currency, and the list goes on and on. So really powerful solution right out of the box. I hope this was helpful. I think that you should use Knack to track your employees' time. It's really powerful and easy to use. Gets you out of spreadsheets, gets you out of overly expensive, bloated time tracking tools. And Knack is a great solution for this. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any other videos like this one.